12 Pyramids activation, 33 Hertz, and the Tesla's New Earth timeline. A few days ago, a story started circulating on social media. According to these posts, at exactly 3:33 in the morning, Cairo time, every seismograph within 500 kilometers of Giza registered an anomaly, not an earthquake, not a tremor, a pulse, a single, clean, low-frequency pulse emerging from directly beneath the Great Pyramid. Duration, 3.3 seconds. Frequency, 33 Hertz. Depth of origin, 330 meters below the base. And it didn't stop there. In that same second, 11 other pyramids around the world registered the identical signal. 12 sites total, across 6 countries and 1 ocean floor. Giza, Teotihuacan, Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, Xi'an, China, Gunung Padang, Indonesia, Tiwanaku, Bolivia, Nubian Pyramids, Sudan, Cahokia Mounds, Illinois, Göbekli Tepe, Turkey, Angkor Wat, Cambodia, Underwater Pyramid, Azores. 12 pyramids, 1 pulse. The same moment that points towards activation of greater grid. Instrument error does not synchronize across 12 countries. Geological coincidence does not produce 33 Hertz at 330 meters at 3:33 in the morning. I could not trace the original source of this story. I saw brief posts circulating but nothing I could verify. And I have learned over the years to be careful with things like this. Human imagination is beautiful, but it loves intrigue, and intrigue has a way of growing beyond its foundations. So I have not confirmed this, not yet. But here is why I am watching closely. One of the 12 pyramids named is the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. I am following the story since their discovery in 2025. I am frequent visitor of that amazing place and work with its founder, Dr. Semir Osmanagic. His team has been measuring negative ions in the tunnels directly beneath that pyramid for many years, 3 times daily, building one of the most consistent, long-term data sets of its kind. The levels recorded there are the highest ever measured anywhere in the world. And there are days, one happened just last year, when those levels spike enormously, without obvious explanation. I believe those are the days when pyramids, sacred sites and grid are active on higher levels. If something real happened in those pyramids on that Saturday morning, Dr. Sam's instruments would know. We would hear about it. I haven't heard yet, but I am watching, and I will update. In the meantime, something else is happening that I cannot ignore. In the past few weeks, I have been hearing consistently from people, those who are attracted to the numbers 33, 333, 369. Their synchronicities are becoming more frequent, more intense, closer together. It's happening to me too. Something is building. Something is becoming louder. And I think I know what it is. The mystery of 3. I am originally from the Balkans. I carry the same ancestral and cultural heritage as Nikola Tesla, Serbian Orthodox, raised in a world where the number 3 is sacred. In our tradition, God saves you 3 times. Our hand gesture of national identity is 3 fingers. When we make the sign of the cross, we use 3 fingers, and there is deep meaning in that. 3 is in our bones before it is in our equations. And Tesla was the same. His father was an Orthodox priest. He grew up inside this, and what the world later called his obsessions, walking 3 times around his house before entering, eating with 18 napkins, surrounding himself with these numerical reminders. I don't see obsession. I see a man of almost incomprehensible mental capacity, a man who said himself, "My mind is only a receiver, doing what he needed to do to stay grounded, to stay tethered to something real in a world that stole from him, dismissed him, and weaponized everything he tried to give freely." The rituals were lifelines, anchors back to the truth he carried. Now, about the number 33 itself, I know what some of you are thinking. Yes, 33 is used as a signature by certain organizations operating in what I call the Atlantean tradition: power, control, secrecy, hierarchy. And yes, they use these numbers deliberately, but they did not originate them. They never do. These forces are mimics. They take knowledge they did not create, invert it, and claim it as their own insignia. They are not good at creation. They are very good at appropriation. The number 3 belongs to life itself, long before it belonged to anyone's secret society. It is sacred across many traditions: in Christianity, in Hinduism, in ancient Egypt, in indigenous cosmologies around the world. The Trinity, the Triad, the triple goddess, heaven, earth, humanity. Cultures that never spoke to each other arrived at the same knowing independently. 3 is the number of completion, of dynamic balance, of creation itself. And consider this: the human spine has 33 vertebrae. 33. That is not coincidence. That is a creation signature, a blueprint for stable, highly functional biological architecture, and the skull and neck system together can exhibit multiple resonant modes between 30 and 330 Hz, the very frequency range of that reported pyramid pulse. We are quite literally built to receive this signal. The architecture of our body already knows. 1 and 1 do not add to 2. They meet, and they generate a third thing that did not exist before: the child, the couple as its own living unit, the new idea born from 2 minds in genuine contact. This is the mathematics of expansion, of spiral growth, of the flower of life unfolding. Father, Mother, Child, Holy Trinity, not as doctrine, but as geometry. The Lemurian principle: symbiosis, abundance, enough for everyone, life in support of life. Its opposition is the Atlantean principle: extraction, control, the hoarding of what was never meant to be hoarded. Tesla's entire vision was Lemurian to its core: free energy, clean energy, symbiosis with nature. The earth already has everything we need. The Akasha already holds every idea. A mind humble enough to call itself only a receiver can reach in and bring those ideas forward, and offer them freely. That is precisely why his work was buried. Tesla's hidden timeline. I have been working with Tesla's consciousness for many years, studying, sitting in that space, spending sleepless nights there, and I have come to a conclusion that I share with you in full integrity, not lightly. In 1912, Tesla declined the Nobel Prize. By then, he had fully absorbed the depth of his disappointment, what had been done to his work, how he had been treated, how the young man's fire had met the world's cruelty, and he began to sense something darker approaching, the brewing of war. Then in 1933, Hitler rose to power. Tesla felt it again. The second tremor, and in the years that followed, living quietly and privately on the 33rd floor of his New York hotel, and yes, of course it was the 33rd floor. I believe he did the most important work of his life, not with copper wire, not in a laboratory, with the etheric fabric of reality itself, with time, with those fine fibers that weave events into being before they become visible in the physical world. He created a timeline. I call it the 369 timeline, what others are beginning to call the New Earth. And he did not do it alone. Around him, across dimensions, work other minds of the same order: Da Vinci, Rumi, the great musicians, the ones history calls geniuses and cannot quite explain. Souls who lived fully in flesh, who know the weight of being human, who know what real change costs, not distant spirits, seasoned intelligences, and among them the wise feminine, the Sophia energy, the deep knowing that balances and completes. Tesla spoke of the World's Fair, that legendary night when alternating current lit up the darkness for the first time, and the crowd stood watching something that would change everything. He wants to do it again, not with electricity this time. He wants to light up the neurons, to illuminate the human brain back into its full capacity, to help us remember who we actually are, how creative, how connected, how capable of receiving and developing ideas directly from the primordial field where all great ideas already exist, waiting. He wants to see the earth lit up again, and he is working toward it still, from wherever he is. Venice and the rainbow. My partner and I were in Venice. We thought we knew it well. He had guided tourists there twice a week for years. But this particular visit was completely different. The colors were more vivid, the architecture more delicate, everything sharper, more alive, more present. We were in such an extraordinary state of joy and clarity that I laughed and said, maybe Tesla put us in a different timeline. Like the parallel worlds in Pullman's His Dark Materials. The same city, the same streets, but a different quality of reality. More real somehow, more itself. We sat down at a little cafe near Piazza San Marco, ordered coffee and tiramisu to see how they taste in the different timeline, and I lifted my head to look across at the building opposite. The number on the wall was 369. We drove from Venice toward the Bosnian Pyramids, and the magic didn't stop. It deepened. The whole journey felt like moving through a wormhole, a corridor of higher consciousness and intelligence, of joy, of protection, something that guides you, holds you, and begins to orchestrate synchronistic events that merge into a consistent timeline of their own. The places you find yourself in, the events that unfold, the people you meet along the way. All of it woven together, not by chance, but by something with intention. And then, maybe an hour from the pyramids, a double rainbow appeared above the highway. Half joking, half utterly serious, I said out loud, if this is real, if this is truly a different timeline, show me that rainbow directly above the pyramid, when we arrive and see it for the first time. We arrived. We looked up. There it was. That is when I stopped joking. Sacred sites and receiving. Tour after tour in the Balkans since then has carried that same quality. From the moment we land at Nikola Tesla Airport in Belgrade, something takes over. We are held, guided, protected. The weather cooperates. The logistics flow despite their complexity. The people who join us enter something together, moving through that wormhole corridor, that protected stream of higher intelligence and joy, where synchronistic events keep arriving and weaving themselves into something coherent, a consistent timeline of places, people, and moments that feel chosen rather than random. We travel not just horizontally, moving through landscapes, making photographs, but vertically, stopping, feeling, connecting, taking these places in not through a phone camera, but within. The sacred sites are at the center of this. When I go to sacred places, the pyramids, the megaliths, the places of extraordinary natural beauty, something responds, not just in me. The animals respond, the plants, the rocks. Life around you becomes aware of you and you become aware of it. That distance between self and nature, between self and life, quietly closes. The senses sharpen. The brain drops into alpha, into theta. You become, as Tesla said of himself, a receiver. And right now, those sights are humming louder than I have ever felt them. Turning the lights back on. The 333 people, the 369 people, those of you hearing this who know exactly what I mean, you are not randomly sensitive. You are part of something, part of a lineage connected to Tesla's timeline, to this co-creation, to this new renaissance being woven together by some of the greatest minds who have ever lived in human form, and by us, ordinary, extraordinary human beings, doing our part on the ground. Because we are not passive in this. That is important. The masters hold the field, yes. Life supports us, yes. But we are co-creators. We train, we learn, we feel deeply and think clearly and show up. We go to the sacred sites. We make the pilgrimages, individually, with family, in small communities. We enter the corridors deliberately. What we are doing at the most fundamental level is bringing back the Lemurian timeline, life in support of life, symbiosis as the governing principle. And the Earth is more than ready. Life is more than ready. The Pulse story, true in every detail or still unverified, is pointing at something that is absolutely real. The pyramids are becoming more active. The synchronicities are increasing. The timeline is closer to the surface than it has ever been in our lifetimes. We are waking up. We are remembering. We are slowly and surely turning the lights back on. And Tesla, I believe with everything I am, is watching and helping. And so glad we are finally here. This is the new Renaissance, and we are just getting started.